me recently, I have been talking about basically all the chakras. We did a one-on-one where we covered all of the chakras in general, and we already talked about the root chakra and the sacral chakra as well. And now we're talking about the solar plexus. So if you're with me again, we've talked about the root chakra, we've talked about the sacral chakra, and now we're talking about the solar plexus, which is actually right underneath your rib cage, and we're going to talk in detail about this amazing chakra. Hey Sheena, how's it going? All right, so welcome everybody. So, in case you're wondering, I'm wearing yellow today because the color of the sacral chakra, as you can see, is yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. And there are actually really a lot of beautiful stones that work so well with the sacral chakra. I'm super excited to talk about that. So hello everybody. I'm glad you're doing well. Okay. So let's get into it. So here's a question for you. Do you ever feel insecure? This feels like a commercial right now. Do you ever feel insecure? Do you have trouble setting boundaries with people? Do you consider yourself a people pleaser? And do you constantly seek approval from others? That's one scenario, right? On the other hand, maybe you have an overly domineering personality. Do you find yourself bullying others? Do you tend to manipulate people to get what you want? Well, those two extremes are basically imbalances in your solar plexus. So we're going to talk about how to determine if you have that imbalance going on, which we've already talked about some of those questions, and then how to bring it back to balance and what that has to do with your personal power, which is a big part of your solar plexus. Okay. So like I said, at this point, we've pretty much covered the 101 of all the chakras in the 7 major chakra system. Again, as I mentioned before, there's tons of chakra, and actually, I believe there's 108 of them, but we're only going to cover the 7 major ones. And we've talked about some of the crystals that generally support them and how all of this is basically relevant to your purposeful life, which I am a super duper fan of. So if you want to get your purpose and life in order, definitely hit me up for some personal coaching. So in terms of the specific chakras so far, we've covered the root chakra at the base of the spine, and I'll show you again in the chart. We've covered the root chakra, we've covered the sacral chakra, and now today we're going to talk about the solar plexus. And if you haven't caught the other videos, feel free to go to my IG and catch all the past videos there, or you can go to my personal group on Facebook called Purpose Driven Tribe, and you can find all the videos there as well. And also today, as with every single one of these, I always do a meditation to help bring to balance that particular chakra and to basically just bring a balance to the entire body, to bring you energy and, bring you into a state of relaxation and ease before you go to bed. So definitely join me after this video in my group, and we'll get into the meditation over there. Okay. So, the solar plexus, it's called Manipura. That is the original name for that particular chakra, and the color, like I said, is yellow, which is why I'm wearing yellow today. And basically, Manipura means shining gem, city of jewels, or the seat of the gems. It's basically your place of personal power, and it's right here, right under your rib cage, underneath your sternum, and above your navel. So that's exactly where it is. And basically, it's, like I said, it's your source of power. It's what brings you energy and helps you basically carry yourself with respect and, respecting others. You feel outgoing, you feel happy, you're relaxed, at ease, but yet energized because you're in your power. And if you've ever felt that way, you know what I'm talking about, because it feels so amazing to be in your personal power. And the power in the chakra helps you really just transcend your personal ego and find motivation and zest for living your best life. So if you haven't been feeling that way, like you're living your best life, and that maybe you're being controlled by other people's desires and dreams and you're easily swayed, then maybe that's an imbalance in your chakra. So let's find out if that's the case. So let's talk about the imbalances right now in your solar plexus. I started talking about this in the beginning, but let's get into it from a mental, emotional, and a physical place, because every chakra really supports, like I've said before, not just the emotional and energetic and mental balances of your body, but it actually has a place and takes care of whatever organs are in that vicinity, right? So we've talked about the other chakras, from working down to your root chakra, from your sacral chakra, and now your solar plexus. And if you look at where your solar plexus is, it does handle, is right, on top of and part of some of the organs there. So some of the physical symptoms are, for example, fatigue, overeating, excessive weight around the stomach, right, because it's right around your stomach area, and digestive disorders like IBS, ulcers, hypoglycemia, and diabetes. So all of those are actually related to your solar plexus. And a funny thing that I recently learned while I was researching all the chakras and pulling up all this information, juicy information for you all, is that if you ever notice when someone has a big gut, that usually means they have a big ego, which I actually found kind of interesting, because I know a few people who have a big gut, and they actually do tend to be a bit egoic. So it's kind of interesting that they're kind of related to each other. So that said, some of the mental and emotional imbalances that happen are like excessive aggression, being over-dominating or controlling toward others, or the opposite, right? Low self-esteem, trouble making decisions, unsure in yourself, and really, like those who are kind of like playing small in the world and not really in tune and in touch with their purpose. And that's how true it is. There's firecrackers going on outside my window. So those are the general imbalances. So how do we, when this chakra is basically imbalanced, right? Let's go back to that. You feel confident. You feel self-motivated, and, you have a sense of purpose. You feel in alignment with yourself and with your life. So how do we get there? Let's talk about that. So what are the things that help you get there? Now, as with the other chakras that I've mentioned, there's a few things in general that you can start just doing to balance your entire chakra system. So one thing that I personally love to do, and I did it earlier today, is connecting with the earth. So I actually went to one of our local, it's called Wave Hill, and it's an amazing place to be in nature, and it's a beautiful garden. Basically, it's a public garden, and I always love to sit in the grass, or take my shoes off and just touch my feet to the ground, because there's nothing more natural and relaxing than just being in peace and connected with the earth. So it's definitely a beautiful place to anchor yourself in your environment. So that's always good to balance all. Another great thing is to find healthy ways for you to calm and soothe yourself, and in particular that specific chakra. So there are incense, oils, and breathing techniques that you can do that actually help you regulate and balance that particular chakra. And so, for example, for the solar plexus chakra specifically, scents like saffron, musk, sandalwood, ginger, and cinnamon, those are all scents and, I guess flavors and things like that you can either take in or smell, or use as oils and dab it on, maybe even dab it on your solar plexus itself. Those are all things that you can use and incorporate as part of your regimen to balance yourself. There's also yoga postures and asanas that help stabilize all the chakras, but there's also specific ones that stabilize your solar plexus chakra, so you can actually do a lot of research on that type of thing. Another thing that you can do that balances everything is energy balance. So as you know, I am an energy worker, and I do pranic healing, and basically my goal when working on someone is to first understand where the imbalances are, where their dis-ease is happening. And if it happens to be in your solar plexus, then obviously I go to the extent of cleaning it out, clearing it out, and re-energizing it and bringing it into balance. And then obviously closing off any energetic holes where you might be giving away your personal power. And especially in the sacral chakra, that's actually a really big deal, that people tend to give their power away and have cords connected to them through their solar plexus, because that is your center space of personal power. So I just think it's such a huge, crucial place to start bringing balance to your body, even just by working on your solar plexus. And then obviously other things that you could do are meditation, which I already mentioned at the end of this. I will be doing a meditation in my group in the Purpose Driven Tribe, so you can catch me there on Facebook, and I can help you bring that chakra and the rest of your chakras into balance. Then there are things like positive affirmations or incantations specifically about personal power. And that basically helps you get out of old habits and foster new habits in your life that are in alignment with your personal power and, purpose and all those beautiful things. So saying things like, as I take on new challenges, I feel calm, confident, and powerful. I feel motivated to pursue my purpose. I'm ambitious and capable. I stand in my personal power. Those are all amazing things. Anything you can think of that counteracts some of the states of feeling that you're feeling yourself that, have been making you play small and where you've been giving your power away. Those are the kinds of things that you can start to create as incantations to help balance your chakra. And then obviously one of my favorite things is working with crystals. And I'll mention a few where you'll notice a pattern where they connect to that personal power, creating self-confidence and enthusiasm, which all relates to the nature of the solar plexus. So let's get into the different crystals that we can use. So I'll mention them all and then I'll go into specifics. So I've mentioned citrine before in the past. Citrine is an amazing stone for for the sacral chakra as well, and it's also amazing because it's yellow. And actually, I'm wearing it right now. This one is citrine, and it's an amazing stone for your solar plexus because, like I said, you can match the stones related to your chakra according to the color. Because the solar plexus is yellow, then you can match citrine. And citrine happens to be an amazing stone for attracting abundance, connecting with your confidence, and your personal power. So it's actually an amazing stone for that. And I love using it in particular for creating abundance, but also you can use it for connecting to your personal power since it's related to that chakra. Now, calcite is also yellow, and I've mentioned it as well in the past because it's actually a great amplifier. It's probably one of the major amplifiers of all the crystals. And it basically works on all the chakras, but I think I love it for the solar plexus because guess what? It's also yellow, right? So it really works well for it as an amplifier of your personal power. A really cool one that you may have never heard one because the jasper stone, usually you'll see it as green or yellow, which are like the common colors. But there are two that I'll show you today, the yellow jasper and this one, the bumblebee jasper. And as you can see, it does have like pieces of black in it and gray. That's why it's called the bumblebee jasper. And this one is actually a very cool and interesting one. I actually bought it for my son. It activates the sacral and the solar plexus chakras, and basically it enables you to accept change, find new opportunities, increase your self-confidence and self-esteem, and basically make decisions without relying simply on emotion. So it's actually a pretty amazing stone. If you can see it fairly clearly, it's got gray, yellow, and black in it. And then there's, of course, the yellow jasper I was mentioning, which again is in alignment with the color of your sacral chakra. And it's for self-confidence and enthusiasm. And it channels positive energy and attracting others to you, which is kind of cool, right? You attract others to you with yellow jasper. And then finally, I want to mention, I don't have it with me today, but tiger's eye, which I'm sure many people have heard of, it's a very well-known stone and probably fairly common. It helps promote courage and self-confidence, especially during times of transition and change. So, I mean, if I had to pick a stone for 2020, I would say that, your tiger's eye is probably a good bet. Tiger's eye and pretty much anything that has to do with the solar plexus, because I feel like right now, we feel so powerless in these changing times, in these times of transition, in these times of, you know, a lot of fear mongering, you know, related to the activities that are happening right now. So, you know, basically tiger's eye, which is kind of like this color, but a little darker, like brownish, and it has like different tinges of black and brown and things like that. It's a beautiful and amazing stone, but it's actually perfectly timed to own one right now if you're having a struggle, you're struggling with this time of transition, this time of change that we're going through right now. So I actually think it's an amazing stone for that, but it's also obviously an amazing stone for your sacral, your solar plexus as well. So again, as with anything, you know, try all the stones out for yourself. This is calcite. I love calcite. Bumblebee jasper, yellow jasper, and then citrine as well, like I mentioned. All of these are amazing stones. Whenever you receive a stone, I always say cleanse it the way it deserves to be cleansed, whether it's with water, whether it's with Palo Santo, or, you know, the light of the moon, the light of the sun. Definitely do your research with these, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I probably already know the answer, so I'm happy to help. And then after you cleanse it, you program it so that it serves a purpose that you're requesting. Often a lot of these stones serve multiple purposes, even if they have a major one that they serve. So for example, calcite is an amazing amplifier, but it also has other things that it does. Like I think it also balances yin yang, it helps all the chakras, it has like a couple of different things. So when you program it, you can say, hey, I want you to be used specifically for amplifying, you know, a particular grid or a particular request, you know, that I desire, etc., etc. So definitely program it appropriately, and then cleanse it every once in a while so that, you know, you can maintain it free from any other energies outside of, you know, outside of the stone itself. It's always a good idea to cleanse. And I mean, crystals are amazing. They're super eye-catching and beautiful, but they're also serving a purpose energetically. And I'll keep repeating this, but they're amazing amplifiers. They are the megaphones of, you know, in life. They help you magnify whatever it is that you desire in your life. So make use of it and help to bring your body into balance. And like I mentioned before, I am going to start creating a bunch of different grids and tools that you can use in your home, that you can create for your rooms, and you can use for, as you know, for yourself as personal grids. So if you have any questions at all about, you know, the stones themselves and the future of some of the grids that I'm going to create, I'm going to talk about it in detail. But if there's anything specific that you feel that you need help with now, let me know, because I'm always looking to create a variety of grids and things that really help and serve you, and that can really help amplify whatever purpose you need. And like I said, I've already talked about the root, the sacral, and today we talked about the solar plexus. As always, do your research. There's tons of books out there that assist with whatever you might need for any of your chakras, for balancing, for enhancing, for clearing, all those beautiful things. And if you have any questions at all, I am happy to serve. I'm happy to answer them. And let's see if there's any questions right now. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you in the meditation. I'll be doing a meditation right now in my group, Purpose Driven Tribe. And I will catch you there. I will post a Zoom link. And as always, it's my pleasure to serve you. Hope to see you soon and hope to help you in the future. And I'll see you all next week. Ciao.